Okay, it's 6:30, everyone. I'm glad to see everyone on here. My name is Mrs. Chetland. I'm the site coordinator for the ACE program. I'm trying to put on my camera, but I don't know how to do it. But I want to get started so we can be prompt. Miss Hammaker is our art teacher, and she's going to show us a design, and she's going to help us learn how to paint this design. So thank you for joining our Paint Pal event, our parent and our student event for tonight. I'm excited to see everyone on here. Ms. Hammaker, you can start the show.
You are going to need, if I can stop wiggling this around, you are going to need a cup of water. So here's my cup of water. You will need a paper towel or napkin, a tray for mixing the colors, and a small plate. I'm going to be using this bowl right here. I'm going to use this bowl to trace for a circle. And you're going to need a pencil. Lapis, I think is how you say it in Spanish. Okay? So we should be all set. Be best for me to use landscape. So if you can bear with me. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the bowl down or the small plate, and we want it a little bit off of the edge. We don't want it directly on the edge. And we don't want it all the way to the top. We want it down a little bit lower because we're going to have a hat here. And we're going to just trace around the circle. So we're tracing around the circle. So when you lift up the bowl, you're not going to have a full circle. You're going to have just a partial circle. So if I lift up the bowl, you can see. Now, if for some reason you made a mistake, no worries. What you can do is you can take, and this erases really well, and plus we'll be painting over it. So don't worry about that, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to turn this like this for you. And I am going to draw a semicircle crossing over the top of this, okay? And I'm going to swing this back around like this. So I did a semicircle, and then I'm swinging this back around. Then I'm going to take my pencil, and right about here, I'm going to bring a line up and have it run off the page. So basically, then I'm going to take and I'm going to do another semicircle right here. And I'm going to do another one right here. So now I have the snowman's face. I have the hat. I have a hat band. And I have the brim. Now, these should not look all cookie cutter alike. Okay, these should not look all cookie cutter alike. The thing with this is that if you decide to vary yours, that's fine. You don't have to follow exactly what I do, but if you do decide to vary it, that's okay. Then I'm going to take down here at the bottom, and I'm going to make a wavy-ish line, and I'm going to bring my wavy line up over like this. Now, how many waves? Oh, you can do as many as you want. What we're making is we're making a scarf. And so you'll see in a minute that it's okay to have it. Now, if you want to bring your scarf all the way over to here, that's okay. You don't have to have a line right here. If you want this all to be scarf, then you're good. Then we're going to take and we're going to come down and we're going to do another wavy line, and it's going to fly off the page. Go on, okay? Oh, by the way, everyone, we're recording this in case somebody missed the presentation tonight and they have the supplies. So we are recording this just to let you know. We have to let you know that we are recording. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put some lines in the scarf because the scarf is a striped scarf. So you're going to just make some curvy lines. So I'm going to make one here, and they can even be like this. They can even be wavy. They don't have to be all the same. And you want to just keep them equally spaced apart. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and we're going to paint this circle white. So you're going to find your largest brush. Now, if you only have one large brush, then you could share with someone if you want to. When you get your brush, you want to dip it in the water, and that just softens up the bristles a little bit. You dip it in the water. And the other thing is that when you wipe a brush down, you go like this or you turn it. You never do this. Never do that. That is like someone is pulling on your hair. That's what it feels like for a brush if they could talk. So again, whenever you are using a brush, you do that. And you don't want to do this either, because then you'll start pulling out the bristles of the brush. So I'm going to uncap my white. And I'm going to dip my brush into the white. And I'm going to put a white layer of paint in the circle. Now, if you don't like the coverage and you say, well, I can still see my canvas poking through, that's okay, because what we can do then is we can always go back after this dries and we can put another layer on. So that's what you're going to do first. So it looks like we've done nothing is basically what it looks like. It looks like we haven't done anything. Then what we're going to do is we're going to rinse our brush because that's all we need the white for at this time. We don't need the white for anything else at this time.
I'm still painting.
Oh, that's fine. No worries.
What's your cat's name?
Pardon me?
What's your cat's name?
Oh, my cat's name. Oh, did you see her just now?
Well, no, but we were just wondering because we saw her in some of the online.
She wants to get on camera so bad right now. It's crazy. Her name is Addie, Addy, and she's what you call a tuxedo cat. She's black and white, and I actually found her at Drew Academy when I was there. Yeah, she was a stray. So I actually found her at Drew, and so I took her home, and I'm allergic to cats. So I took her to the vet.
You're allergic to cats and you took her home.
Yeah.
Wait.
So I took her home. Yeah, I took her home, and then I took her to the vet, and the vet said, she's a very special cat. I said, you're just trying to say that to make me take her. And he said, no, we'll take her. And he goes, we'll have no problem adopting her out. And at the time, my boyfriend said, yeah, let's keep her. And I was like, you're allergic too. He said, that's okay, let's keep her. Okay, so now we're going to get the light blue color, and we're going to open that up. And you're going to just look at mine first before you get started so that you can see what's going on. So you can outline first, and you can use a smaller brush. You don't have to use a big brush. Use the brush that you're comfortable with. Me, I can probably use this larger brush because just being an art teacher for so long. So you're going to take now and you're going to outline all along here. You notice I didn't start next to the snowman. Why? Why did I not start next to the snowman? Because it's still wet, right? So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to come all the way up to the top. And then if you were like me and you left a little bit of blue down here, I can either make that scarf or make that blue. It's up to you. And then the other thing is that I'm going to take and I'm going to go around my hat. And I'm just going to make a line around my hat. Edges. The edges on the side of the canvas, I recommend doing these last because you're going to be picking up your canvas and twisting and turning it, and your hands are going to really get full of paint. So I recommend that you save your edges till last. And how do I know that? Because I painted my edges as I was going along, and I ended up with a lot of paint. So I'm still avoiding that area. So turn your canvas so it works for you. You don't have to work with your canvas always in the right side facing you. You can turn your canvas and make it work for you. So all I'm doing is I'm just outlining, and I'm still avoiding that little white area. I'm still avoiding it. So I'm outlining as I go along. And again, hold off on those edges. Now, I am going to go ahead and I am going to fill in the blue, and hopefully by the time I finish filling in, this will be a little bit drier for me, and then I can go ahead and paint. But essentially, you're going to fill in all of the areas around the scarf, the hat, and the snowman. So all I'm doing is taking this and I am filling in all of these areas. So here and here, filling it in. So I'm just taking my paint. This is very nice paint, by the way, Miss Chetland. You did a good job picking it. You did a good job because there's acrylic paint and then there's acrylic paint. And if you buy too cheap of an acrylic paint, you have to go over everything twice. So if you buy a good acrylic paint, you really need to go over everything just once. And this is just one of those ones where you just have to go over it once.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. So I was thinking before we got started that I was looking at some things, and one of the comments that I saw online was that a lot of people are doing this now. They're having painting parties with their relatives. And so since we're in this crazy pandemic, I started thinking that maybe what you could do for Thanksgiving, if you're not, you're going to stay in, which is the right thing to do, and you're not going to have a big social gathering. And you could get your family members on some type of a program where they could meet together, like Zoom or Meet Google or whatever. I don't know which ones you would like to use. There's Ring Call. There's so many of them out there. And then you guys could have a painting party together online, and you could do something like that. That would be a fun activity. Like after you had dinner, you can go ahead and paint. Now, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to go right next to my snowman very carefully. If for some reason I get a little bit of white mixed in with the blue, it's not going to be a big deal. But if the blue goes over the white a little bit, that even makes the snowman look more realistic. Because realistically, when you make a snowman, they are not a perfect circle. If you make a real snowman outside with snow, they are not a perfect circle.
So
They are wobbly.
how much of the light blue we're using all on the outside of the snowman?
Yes. So
Oh,
you're using, I'll hold this up. So I got two cameras going. So you can see how I have where am I? I have the blue
okay.
and
I see it.
yeah. And so I have the
Okay.
blue, and then you see I have a little bit on the edge right there. And then I
Yeah.
have it at the bottom.
So
So I am going to recommend that you start with the dark blue. And this is strictly up to you how you want to do this. You can start the every other one however you want. You don't have to start the dark blue here and then go red and blue. If I want to start the dark blue at the second one down, then I can do that. I don't have to necessarily do that. If I want to start my dark blue down here in this corner and then go blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, however you want to do it. There's no right or wrong answer. Okay? So whenever you're painting, one of the biggest things is to outline whatever you are going to paint first. So what I mean by that is that you take the area, I'll make this one blue, and you just do a little outline, and you may want to use a smaller brush. It's up to you. You can use two brushes. You can use one for the outline and one for the inside, the middle. Okay, so I'm going to switch to a smaller brush so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm taking a small brush and I'm going along like this. And I'm right next to the wet part of, so I'm just going to go real gentle around there. And so I am going to outline first. So there's my outline. And then after I do that, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill in with the blue. So I'm going to go back to my bigger brush, and now I'm going to fill it in. So I want to make sure though that I'm going to just kind of run my brush closer to the edge, because I feel like the littler brush spreads the paint out kind of on the thin side. So I'm just going to take and just run my brush around the edge a little bit like this. And there I have it. Okay, so there's one. So remember, turn your canvas so it works for you. You don't have to paint with the snow person always in the right direction. You can change it. So I'm going to rest my brush down on the cap so that I don't have to worry about it getting on anything. Then I'm going to dip in again, and I'm going to take, oh, I see a little spot right there. And I am going to run my brush right up to the light blue and around. And I am going to outline all of the areas first. So all of the edges. And I'm going real slow. So hopefully you're staying
The
about the
scarf
same.
could be any color, right?
Pardon me?
The scarf could be any color, right?
Yes, I've planned it for red and blue. But if you want to change it up, that's okay. Just so that you have enough paint to last through the whole thing. So you can fill in with any color, I mean, with any brush size. Like now I'm just using the small brush completely through the whole thing. So you don't have to use two brushes. It's up to you. I like the bigger brush. I like the little brush and then the bigger brush. Okay. So I have that. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to skip one and I'm going to go over to my next one. So you can see what I've done is I just put a little dab of paint in the ones that are left so that I know this is my blue, red, blue, red, blue. And then down here, this is going to be red and then blue. So I have that. All right. And I don't recommend putting your paint on your canvas like this because you have a chance of paint dropping. I'm only doing this so that you can see what I'm doing and how I'm not dipping in all the way to the bottom. I'm just taking right off from the top. And I'm going to take my small brush and I am going to outline my edges. And when you do this again with family members or whoever, you guys can coordinate your own colors, figure out what you want to do. And that way you have it. Very reasonable to do this project. If money is an issue, you can get away with getting the canvases very inexpensive. I know Miss Chetland got these at Hobby Lobby. You can actually get bigger size canvases as well and do this a little bit larger. You don't necessarily have to do it that small. Okay, I see a little cutie pie on there with dots, little dots. She's got like a little, who is that? With mom with a pink and white striped shirt. Is that you? Oh,
Ross. That's
okay.
Ross.
So I see a little cutie pie right there. Not everybody has their camera on, so. And I see Serenity. So yeah. Okay. So I'm still painting my scarf. And I'm still doing this blue. Like that. Okay. And now I'm going to turn my canvas again so that it makes it better for me to paint. And I'm going to finish up my last one. Now this is a pretty big one right here. So I may say, you know what, let me just make that a little bit more blue and do something like that. So, okay. Look at her paint. She's so cute. It's so much fun when the cameras are on and I can see you, and I can see who's out there. All right. Okay, are we doing okay?
Is it okay that I might have gotten some of the blue on the white snowman?
No, it's fine. It's totally fine. Because in the end, you can always go back when it's dry, and you can go back when it's dry and do some patching up and stuff. Okay. I'm trying to adjust my camera a little bit. There. All right. I'm gonna so I'm on my laptop and it said battery low. So I'm gonna go get my little plug and plug it in. In the meantime, you'll finish up painting the blue and we'll let that dry. Okay. The white should be pretty well dry. So hang on a minute. They're talking about you, Addie. Yeah.
What happened?
I just said your name. Did you get my message about sending your Scholastic information to me, your login and your password?
You sent it through a number or to the school G?
I'll send it to you again. So be on the lookout. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to turn this around, and I've picked up my pencil, and I am going to draw 2 circles right here. Now, what size? It's up to you. If you want to go larger, you can go larger like that. And then you're going to make them like into commas. You're going to put a little tail right here and a little tail right here. So it looks like it's a comma.
Make
So
it
you
closer,
have-
Miss Hammerka, so we can see it.
Oh, put it closer.
Because I can't see what the eyes look like.
Okay, so I've drawn, is that better?
Yes.
So I've drawn 2 circles, and then after I drew my 2 circles, I put a little comma right there
Okay.
on each one. So it looks like a little comma.
Is that like its eyebrows or something?
No, the comma's just it's just like a more cartoony type way.
Can you do it? Can you put the drawing a little bit farther, please? Because I can see a little bit like farther.
Oh, further. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Then we're going to draw a carrot, and we're going to go between the eyes, and we're going to go in the middle here, and we're going to make just a little curved line like that. We're not making it straight up and down. Now, if you happen to make it straight up and down, that's okay. And then we're going to take and we're going to aim it out this way. This is going to be the nose. Now, I am going to go a little bit past this, but this is wet. So I'm going to just leave that alone for now, but I am going to bring it out past. I'll put it in so you can see. I am going to bring it out past the snow person, and the orange will cover up that little itty bitty part of blue. So don't worry about that. Now, don't worry about your carrot being not perfect, because if you really look at a carrot is usually like this. So carrots are not perfect. So if you want to make a more realistic carrot, then you want it to be uneven and kind of crazy looking. You don't necessarily want it to be perfect. All right. That makes it look even a little bit more like a real snow person.
Miss Hammock, would everybody be able to upload their pictures so we can see them?
Yeah, so what we can do is we can have them send them to your email address.
Okay.
And they can take them and we'll post your email address. We'll have it so that they can take a picture and send it directly to you. And also we can have everybody turn their cameras on at the end, and they can hold it up to the camera. And we are recording, so we should be able to see it as well that way. So we'll have two ways.
Okay.
All right.
I'll add my email address now.
Okay. And then we're going to do a smiley face right here. And we're going to do 2 little curves on the end. Okay. So we have eyes, carrot nose, and a little smiley face. Now, when you make a snowman, they usually use like raisins or rocks for the mouth. So that's okay to not have that perfect as well. So now we're going to get out the black. So we're going to get the black, and we are going to use a big brush and a small brush, or a medium-sized brush and a small brush, or you may just be a one brush person. You may not need to have a bunch of brushes. So let me tag through on the hat first. So I'm going to turn this to my advantage. And it also works to your advantage to see this. So now
Is
I'm
that
going,
color that you have black?
yes, it is black.
We don't have black.
Oh no, really? Then I want you to use the dark blue. If you don't have the black, for some reason we missed it, I want you to use the dark blue. And I can go ahead and talk you through how to do that. All right. So you're going to be using the dark blue instead of the black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my brush in, and remember the secret is outlining whatever you're painting the color. So you notice I'm being very careful right along here. And I'm not really outlining because it's such a small area that when I do try to outline, it fills in the whole spot. So then I'm going to take and I'm going to bring this around, and I'm going to go around the hat band. So I'm going around the hat band, and then I'm going to go around down here. So I'm on the brim of the hat right now. I'm on the brim of the hat. So I'm going to go around like that. So I have that outline. I am going to outline my other areas so you can see. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to outline right along here. I call it painting smarter, not harder. So I'm still using my same brush. Instead of me putting this brush down and it drying out, and then I have to, or rinsing it out and cleaning it up, and then knowing that I have to use it later on, it's just easier to take it and just to finish doing the outlining right about here. So remember I told you, save your edges for at the end. We'll probably you'll have you show your paintings, and then we'll probably go off air. But in the meantime, you can go back after that and you can do your edges. All right. So I outlined all of that. Now I can do two things. I can get my bigger brush and I can fill this in, or I can keep my smaller brush and I can go and fill in the eyes. And this will give you, this will show your eyes a little bit better for you. So if you didn't draw your eyes the way you want them, or you see these painted now and you want to change it, you still have time to change it. So there's my two eyes. And I'm also going to paint my mouth. Now I will slow down in a minute. I know I'm doing a lot, talking a lot and giving you a lot of directions, but I am going to make a smiley face. Now, if your smiley face is uneven, great. More the better, because then it looks like a real snow person. And so then I can take my bigger brush and I can now fill in all of the black on the hat. So now I'm going to take my bigger brush, and for my one blue person,
On the tip, I accidentally, like you said, on the hat, You said filling the edges accidentally on the to the right on the edge accidentally filled in the whole thing.
Oh, okay. That's okay. If you filled it in, then the good news is that when the paint dries, you can go over and paint another color over.
Okay.
Or I can tell you how you can fix it, or you can leave it alone as all black. That's okay too.
So is my snowman supposed to look a little depressed? Like just a little?
Is it supposed to look a little different?
No, depressed. It looks a bit sad.
Oh, it looks depressed. Well, give it a bigger smiley face.
I don't know
And
how to.
then it will be okay. So, well, he might be depressed, when you think about it, or she, because they know they're going to melt and go away, right? And
Yeah, snowmen
disappear.
have feelings too.
So they don't last forever. So they know they're going to.
What color are the eyes?
What about the eyes?
What color are the eyes?
The eyes are black. But if you are the person that I missed putting black paint in, then paint them blue. And then you would paint the mouth blue. But right now, we're just using black only. Right now, that's our only color we have out, unless you're the blue person. So, you see I have a little bobble right there. That's okay. No worries. I can show you how to fix your little imperfections, but imperfections actually make it look more unique.
I think mine need a whole bunch of fixing.
No, I'm sure everybody's very critical. So it's kind of like it's art is a process. And so what happens is that a lot of times when I'm doing something, I'll start it out and it will be great. And then what happens is that as I'm moving along, I'm like, oh, this doesn't look good. And then I'll work on it. And then the next thing you know, I'll be like, oh, this doesn't look too bad. And then I'm working on it some more and I'm like, oh, this looks horrible. So you kind of go back and forth.
That's how I feel right now.
The other thing is it's like a picture and somebody shows it to you right away and you go, take that away. I look terrible. And then a couple days later, you look at it and you go, I wasn't there. That's actually not a bad picture. And, then
It's all
and then a year from now, you're like, that's a great picture. That's a really great picture. So, yeah, it just depends. Just depends. Like I have a few little things in mind that I'm like, oh, but it's okay. Like I said, that's one of the advantages to this particular subject matter is that they, Eric Ramirez, you raised your hand. What's going on?
Do we have to like paint the snowman like the white, or do we keep it white, or we have to paint it like a color?
You mean this part?
Yeah.
Okay, this is white. However, towards the end, I was going to show if you wanted to put a few little smudges on it to make it grayish looking, to make it look a little more realistic. You could do that. That's more for the advanced group, because I probably am, just from what I can tell, I know I can see until I have some beginners, and I have some intermediates, and I have some advanced. So right now I'm going to do the basics, and then after I do the basics, then I can go ahead and show some more advanced things that you can do. But for right now, we'll just get the basics in. Okay, so the next
So
color
the
that
color doesn't have any like. So the white doesn't have any color.
oh, well, hopefully you painted this white, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you want to paint this white. And so then, and then I can go through and show you how to do some actual shading on it. Okay, so here's orange.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And now we're going to paint the carrot. So the carrot, I am using
Do it look like a snowman?
a small brush through the
I'm
whole
doing good.
thing. And remember, we have this curved line right there. So we want to keep that curved. And also remember, I told you that carrots are not perfect. So if your carrot is wobbly when you drew it, that's okay. If it's wobbly when you paint it, that's okay. And the orange, we may have to give it a second coat. It looks like it just isn't covering quite the way I would like it to, but it depends. So here's my, because the reason why I say that is because I can see my pencil lines coming through a little bit. So that's why, and it doesn't have to be to a point. It's not like a witch's nose type thing. It's a carrot. So you don't have to have it to a point. So I'm just taking, and I'm just putting this on and just kind of smoothing this out a little bit. And I'm actually purposely making my carrot uneven because I think it looks more like a snow person. Yeah. When you are doing your carrot today,
Yes, I finished mine already.
you did. Where are you? Let's
I'm
see
right
it.
here.
Put your camera on.
Look.
Oh, okay.
Raise it up some. Oh,
So
beautiful.
so the band, you didn't do the band on the hat?
There's a band.
Yeah.
Oh.
This right here is going to be a band on the hat. So you can paint that in. Okay.
Okay.
And I would suggest red.
All
I
right.
would suggest red. And then we are going to do snowflakes. We're going to do ours in white. Like the snow, we're going to do a little bit of snowflakes. We're going to do them in white. But that's the very, very last thing we do. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint these red. So now I'm going to paint these red. So I'm going to outline them first in red. And then I'm going to use a bigger brush. And I am going to go use a bigger brush and then fill in. So I'm going right next to my blue. And then I'm coming around and I'm going to outline. And I'm going to outline a little bit in here. And so you can outline all of your red areas first. and then fill in, or you can fill in. It's up to you how you want to do that. And so the hat band is also going to be red. This is also going to be red. So you want to fill in your hat band. Now I would paint the hat band last because the black is still wet, but I just put a touch of red in there so you can understand what's going to happen with that hat band. So now I'm going to pick up and I'm going to turn mine around, and I am going to fill in my red. And yes, there's a lot of little things that you can do depending on and I can go over those with you, and you can do them later if you want. We can get the basics in, and then I can, since we're recording this, you can always go back and look at the recording if you have to go. Just make sure you send Ms. Chetland a picture of your snow person, because we want to thank Harris County for being able to provide us with this opportunity. And one of the ways is they like to see how and where they're helping. So it's good documentation for us. So now I've got this. And like I said, you can always go back when it's a little bit more dry and do some touch-ups.
But please, everyone, send your pictures to me. My email is in the chat.
Yes, we definitely want those. So
Hey, be quiet.
so hopefully everybody's doing okay.
How you doing, Ross?
Hey, I'm off.
You doing good? Let me see.
All finished.
You all finished? Oh, you did a wonderful
Wow.
job. I love it, Ross.
Wow. Are you going to stay around for some finishing touch
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
things?
Ross, she asked you, are you going to stick around a little bit?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. You going to send me your picture to my email?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so flip around and get the band. Now, if your red goes a little bit past and it goes a little bit on to the blue, that's okay, because a band is wrapped around the hat. So the band is going to be bigger than the hat. It's going to stick out a little bit. So if you overstep your line, that's all right. That's okay. And it looks like you have enough paint left over where you could get some more canvases, and you have the brushes. So you could do this again with your family members, or somebody, whoever you live with, you could do that again. All right. So now I have my snow person, but I'm not done. I'm not done. We always start with the big stuff first, and then we go down to the details. So one of the things that you can do, and I'm going to demonstrate this, is to take, I'm going to rinse my brush out, and I'm going to take a little bit of black and a little bit of white, and I'm going to mix it together. So I'm just using the lid here. And I'm going to, and just just a little tiny bit of black. Because if you put too much black, it just takes over everything. So you want to just use a little tiny bit of black, and you want to mix it in with the white, and you're going to get a gray color. And with the gray color, you're going to put some lines in your hat to make the hat look a little bit more interesting instead of just keeping it plain. So you can take and watch this. I'm going to put like a line here and a line here. Notice it's curved. Notice it's curved. All right. And this just kind of gives it like a little bit of a more tattered look, a little bit more realistic. Now, if for some reason you don't like it, you can always go back over, and you can even just do lines. You don't have to have it blended in. You can just do lines. So you come up to the top, and at the top, you go like this, and you just do a few little lines in here. And then you just do a few little lines over here. So you're just kind of here and there. Now, if it got a little bit crazy on you, you can always take a little paper towel with a little bit of water on it, and you can always go back and just scoop up a little bit, but you should be okay. So you're just doing a little tiny bit, and you can also do a little bit right along the hat band. And you notice I'm not going all the way over. I'm just going a little bit. So you can do a little bit there.
I'm finished.
Oh,
Miss
good.
Hammaker. Miss Hammaker,
Yes.
what's wrong with the red?
Here's mine.
You're still on the red?
Yeah.
Okay. No worries, because what we'll do is we'll have this taped. So if you want to go back and review, you can.
Can you see my snowman?
I cannot. Oh, there you go. Yes. So can you hold it down a little bit? Okay, good. You know, I love the mouth. Did you do the hat band?
That's pretty good.
Did I do what?
You got to paint your hat band
Oh,
right
okay.
here. Yeah.
What color am I supposed to paint that?
Red. Paint it red. Paint your red. Very nice. So you're going to just take, I know I'm going a little bit faster, but it's 7:49, and I know we have little ones that probably need to go to bed and so forth. So I'm going to just go ahead and sort of speed things up. You're going to put a little bit of white in each eye. That's called a highlight. And that sort of just kind of sinks it on the eyes, just kind of zings it a little bit. So, Mr. Bennett, don't forget, we want a photo. And then the other thing that you can do is you can take that gray that you mixed up, and I take the gray, and it's a very light gray, very, very light gray. It's not super. And see my little bobble right here? I'm just going to run a little bit of gray over it. And then I'm going to smudge my finger a little. And I'm just going to go like this. And I'm just going to put some gray down and just smudge it in.
Hey Google.
And it makes
Timer for
the
5 minutes.
snow person look a little bit more realistic. So now I just dipped in my orange. So let me try to patch that. Like I said, take that paper towel, get it wet, and you can go back and you can just, it's like an eraser. And you can just erase that little bobble. Okay? And then the last thing, and I know I'm going fast.
I fixed it.
Okay, now watch this because you haven't done this one yet. So watch this. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my very, very skinny brush and I'm going to dip it in the black. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This isn't the last thing. We got to do our snowflake shed. So you can take the black and you can go right along here and then put it between the red and the blue. Now you don't have to go you don't want to outline it completely. You only want to go about like halfway. And then you want to come along and you want to go down a little bit. And you're going to outline your scarf with the black. And you can also do this. You can take and put a black line in here, thin, skinny. No, don't go super thick. And that will look like a wrinkle in the scarf. And you don't do it just on one side, you do it on both sides. So you take this and you come in here and you put a black line. Don't put it all the way. Don't put it all the way. And then come along and put a little bit in there. And I'm just doing a very, very thin, skinny line. Very, very thin, skinny line. So I'm going to turn this around. And now I'm going to go on the other side. And I'm going to just do the same thing, but I don't want my black lines to connect in the middle. I don't want them to connect. So I'm going to just put a black line in, black line, and I'm just doing a little thin, skinny black line. And then I'm going to put a wrinkle in here. And I'm going to put a wrinkle in here. And then I'm going to go to the bottom side. And I'm going to put a little outline. Now, if you're an early finisher, you should do your sides of your canvas. Go ahead and work on your sides if you're an early finisher. And then that way your sides are done. All right. Now, this is one of the things that you can do is you can do a little bit of snowflakes. And snowflakes, when you look at them, they are, if you look underneath the microscope, they have a pattern to them. But if you just look at them when they're falling, they're different sizes. So you see I'm dipping my brush in just a little tiny bit, and I'm going to just barely touch my canvas. And I'm just going to put snowflakes even on the scarf. Even on the scarf. I'm going to just put a few. Don't overkill with the snowflakes, but just put a few down. And use the very tip of your brush and put them in. And if you decide later on you don't like the snowflakes, you can always paint over it. But I'm going to just do a few. I'm not going to do a lot. And I'm even going to put some on his hat. I'm even going to put a few on his hat. Because snowflakes, they will go anywhere. They will go on the hat. They'll go on, they might even go on the carrot. So that's all the snowflakes I'm going to put. Don't overkill on the snowflakes. Because then it looks, then people, when they look at it, they're going to automatically look at the snowflakes first before they look at the snowman. And then you can always take, you know how when you buy something, you get extra buttons in case you lose a button on something? You can get a hot glue gun and you can glue buttons down in between the snowflakes, or you can put them on the snowflakes and you can get little buttons and put those on as well. Or you could put a row of buttons along here with hot glue. That's really nice. So then it becomes even more so, but you have plenty of paint. So I would paint your edges, and then I would say, you know, later on, say, okay, I'm gonna add the buttons later on or whatever. So you can do that. All right. Any questions so far? Everybody's good? Okay. Even if you're not done, I'd like for you to turn your camera on and hold up your canvases. Even if you're not done, I would like for you to turn your camera on and hold up your canvases so I can see really. I want to see if I was a good teacher or not. I can tell by the okay, look at that. Nice, Serenity and Graham. Is that Grandma? No, Mom? Okay. Very nice. Oh, look at that one. Who is that? Who is that down there? Like the one with the big scarf? Look at these. Oh, look at that. Nice.
They all look awesome. Y'all have to
They
send
do.
them to
Oh,
me.
look at that. Very nice. Oh, somebody got Miss Chatlin. You went off the grid, girl. You're totally different. Look at you.
Can I see?
Oh, look at the rosy little cheeks. How adorable. Very cute. And let's see, I love the carrots. Oh, and somebody did little dots. Kaylee, your friend. Oh, a green hat. Nice. Somebody knows how to mix their colors. Oh, look at that. Nice, nice, nice. Okay.
Everyone did beautiful jobs.
I know, they all look really good.
Please, everyone, take pictures and send it to me. I just posted my email address.
Okay.
I'm going to take a picture of mine and send it to myself.
Okay, good. I'll take